Working Committee of Naga National Political Groups calls Pan-Naga Hoho not acceptable to Naga tribes without integration. Issuing statement, the Working Committee of Group calls proposed Pan-Naga Hoho communist inspired. That would allow backdoors entries for others in Nagaland. Based on charge sheet filed by SIT formed by Nagaland Government of India Army not to hand over 30 accused security personals over the 21 para-special forces in connection to last year's infamous voting killing incident for civil court trials. Army all set to try accused through court-martial proceedings to ensure fair trial. On the condition that state government would resolve the District Institute of Education and Training Changsang relocation issue by July 15. Chang Vidoshi said Chang temporarily suspends indefinite agitation from June 22. The decision taken after considering an approval letter from the State Commissioner's Office on June 21. High-voltage political drama intensifies in Maharashtra as Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray offers to step down from his post on the wake dissidents against Shiv Sena Supremo. In his address to rebel MLAs who stationed currently in Guwahati, the Maharashtra CM says if the MLAs want, he is ready to quit. At least 1,000 people feared to be killed with nearly 1,500 several others seriously injured as 6.1 magnitude earthquake jolts eastern Afghanistan early on Wednesday. As per reports, majority of the casualties confirmed in the provinces of Paktika and Khost, with officials warning that toll would likely to rise. Welcome to Nagaland TV. You're watching English Primetime News. I am Yashira, and now the news in detail. The Indian Army is all set to try 30 personnel, including an officer of the 21 para-special forces, in connection to the killing of 13 innocent civilians in Oting village of Mon district on December 4, 2021. Personnel of the 21 PSF will be tried as per court-martial proceedings. The Special Investigation Team's probe into the infamous Oting massacre has indicted the personnel based on a SIT report. Charge sheets have been filed against the para-troopers under Section 302, 307, 326, 120B and others of the Indian Penal Code. A senior officer of the Eastern Command stated that the paratroopers did not carry out the operations with an intent to murder innocent civilians, but rather based on intelligence inputs. Officers iterated that the army is dismayed that innocent civilians had to die in place of banned NSCNK YA cadres. A retired officer also commented that letting civil court try the 21 PSF personnel would be like throwing them into the wolf's mouth. He went on to say that it would demoralize soldiers and they would become reluctant to obey orders. The officers further stated that the SIT is ignorant of Army's working mechanism and also lamented that the state governments are very quick to accuse Army of excesses. Officers also iterated that the Army has no delight in carrying out such operations. However, the states do not act against those banned outfits. The officer also mentioned that the states create their own mess and seek support from Army. Officer stated that whatever had happened was not the fault of the Army. It seems that the consensus over acceptance of Pan-Naga Hoho among various stakeholders of the Naga peace talks has taken a back. It comes after the Working Committee of the Naga National Political Groups has said that the Pan-Naga Hoho is not acceptable to the Naga tribes without integration. Issuing a statement that the Working Committee of the group called the proposed Pan-Naga Hoho is communist-inspired, criticizing the formation of Hoho. The committee said that it has been designed for people from other states to enter Nagaland through the back door in the near future and nationalize private and tribal ancestral properties in the state. The statement said that in the form of obnoxious PNH powered by a despicable code called Yes Zabo is being marketed in Nagaland. This political philosophy exists only in the imagination of few southern Naga NSCNIM leaders. It will have no buyers in Nagaland. It went on to say that southern Naga IM leaders have forgotten few basic natural laws of Nagaland in their PNH and Yes Zabo plan, which even Government of India during negotiations honoured and acknowledged, maintaining that the Government of India had repeatedly said that the present boundary of Manipur state would not be disturbed. The WCNNPG said that it had agreed in the principle with the Government of India to give adequate political space to Nagas of the other states without disturbing the state boundaries. Emphasizing on the two competency clauses of the framework agreement, retired bureaucrat K.K. Sema on Tuesday maintained that the Nagas of Nagaland will be able to survive as the Pan-Naga Hoho will control the upper house, and the Nagas of Manipur will also become the citizens of Naga nation without integration of lands. He stated that NSCNIM should not decide the fate of the Nagas without discussing the framework agreement, competency clauses, and also maintained that Nagas reject the competencies if all clauses are not disclosed. Sema maintained that without integration flags and constitution does not hold any significance. Sema further maintained that NSCN IM's Yezabo is model of communism, and if Yezabo gets implemented, all the land and public property will be handled by the government. Sema further said that NSCN IM and Government of India were on opposing sides on the issue of shared sovereignty, adding that the flag and constitution were part and parcel of sovereignty and does not require permission from anyone. He alleged that the demand for flag and constitution started only after signing of the framework agreement. Sema maintained that the Nagas of Nagaland in the NSCN IM does not know what going on in the group's top decision-making body, as all the important control points and decision makers consisted of southern brothers, and Muiva's words were revered as laws. The Changwidoshi Setsang has temporarily suspended its indefinite agitation with effect from June 22 on the condition that the state government resolve the matter of relocating the District Institute of Education and Training to Changsang by July 15. Notably, the decision was taken after considering an approval letter from the State Commissioner's Office on June 21. However, CWS remarked that they would resume the agitation if the government fails to respond within the stipulated time. Meanwhile, CWS acknowledged the district administration, security force, federation units, Chang Apex organizations and the Twinsang public for adhering to its directives. A review meeting for the conduct of presidential election 2022 was taken by the Chief Electoral Officer V. Shashank Shekhar with the Assistant Returning Officers Krohui Twinyo, Rio and Darhu Shupho in his office chamber on Wednesday. During the meeting, in accordance with the Election Commission of India's instructions, various preparations were reviewed such as security arrangements, collection of ballot boxes and other election materials from New Delhi and deposit of the same after poll. They also discussed on various arrangements at the place of polls, strong room, COVID-19 protocols, arrangements for videography and various other administrative arrangements. Notably, the additional CEO Ruko Vituo KG and joint CEO Ava Lauren and Deputy CEO R. Mathung also attended the meeting. It is to be mentioned that the presidential election will be held on Monday, while the last date for filing nomination is on June 29, 2022, and the counting of votes will take place in New Delhi on July 22. Alleging betrayal from the NPF central leadership, the office bearers and workers of Naga People's Front from 48 Mao Assembly constituency, drawn from almost of 9 DCC, tendered their resignation en masse on Tuesday. While addressing a conference, MLA Zeki Khor Roshi informed that the mass resignation of all members from the party was initiated as NPF leadership under Dr. Shiro Zeli Lizitsu breached the party principle. While then NPF legislator leader T.R. Ziliang indulged into manipulative role in awarding ministerial berth to its MLA Losh Dikho recently. It alleged that the repeated betrayal of NPF central leadership was beyond tolerance, as its MLA Loshi Dikho, who won consecutively 3 times to keep the NPF party alive, was ditched without reason or explanation. The party worker leader alleged that the blatant denial of ministerial berth despite keeping MLA Loshi Dikho in serial number 1 and again unceremoniously relegated to number 2 and finally denied the deserving cabinet berth without even any courtesy explanation was rubbing salt in the wounds. The disgruntled party members alleged that despite patiently waiting for response from NPF central leadership, no gesture was extended from its end. Lotha Public Organization has urged the Home Department to declare the Naga Hoho Memorandum null and void with dissolved Lotha Baptist Churches Association. Issuing a press release, the organization alleged that the present dispute over the authority of the Lotha Baptist Churches Association started after the Naga Hoho, without any authority, selected an interim body of association on March 18, 2022, despite an existing body. The organization stated that Naga Hoho Memorandum invoking Article 3711A and 16-point agreement of the state of Nagaland was arbitrary and cannot stand the test of the law. LPO stated that the Apex Tribal Hoho was a statutory body as per the Nagaland Village and Tribal Council Act 1978, and that the act did not empower the tribal Hohos to overrule the religious institutions or any organization. Furthermore, the organization maintained that since from the inception of LH, there had been no peaceful atmosphere in the Lotha community, as the organization was formed without proper guidelines. The organization also alleged that Engineer Mandamo Ovung and Abenthon Nuli to have lose all moral rights to lead the Lotha people and demanded the duo to step down immediately and pave the way for the new leadership. The LPO further appealed the Baptist Church members to reconcile and come together to maintain the sanctity of the LBCA. Timber traders have warned the imposed blockade of Dimapur-Peron route on both commercial, private vehicles and movement of people if 3 of their demands were not met within a week. Taking strong anomaly, the NKIO Students Union imposing a blanket ban on timber operations, which the union said was totally uncalled for, especially at the situation when the government has not yet declared anything between the timber traders and parent civil society organizations. Nagaland Timber Traders Union and its affiliated units demanded that the CSOs should refund whatever money the timber traders had invested in parent district within 1 week. The union also demanded that sawmills in Jaluki Valley functioning without valid license should be shut down within a week, besides arresting the culprits responsible for setting ablaze 2 trucks belonging to one of its members on the night of May 30. Recalling the sudden announcement of ban of movement of unprocessed timber from parent district by CSOs in 2021 had already invested a huge amount of money, labor and machinery to wind up their operations. Since the land and resources belonging to the people or villagers as per Article 3 71A, they clarified that the traders agreed to buy the areas and trees, recalling that parties had entered into agreements or transactions earlier verbally in good faith as per Naga customary law. They claimed that no written documents were needed to seal a deal or agreement. Citing all the events, that the union clarified that they were compelled to give a counter along with their units. A seminar on National Apprenticeship Promotion Scheme was held at Nagaland Tool Room and Training Center in Dimapur. Notably, the seminar was held to sensitize public and departments on benefits of NAPS. It may be mentioned that Senior Manager of Construction Skill Development Council of India, Pinaki S. Deb, attended the program as the resource person, while people from several other departments also attended the seminar. It is to be mentioned that the key features of NAP is to extend financial support and provide legal benefits of NAPS to organizations and employees. Meanwhile, NAPS also provide commercial benefits to the organizations, employers, and also sensitize people on advantage of using a single portal.
See, basically for today's program, today we have conducted one workshop on National Apprenticeship Promotional Scheme. The main idea behind this awareness workshop is that because this is the benefit that is extending the government of India to all the organization, all the department, all the industry bodies, so that whenever they have any requirement, they can fulfill their requirement through NAPS, hiring the apprenticeship in their industry or the department. Because the reason is that the government has to grow the awareness, government has given some financial benefits also to the organization. Like if any organization is hiring any NAPS, like through NAPS, any apprentice, then the government is extending 1500 rupees on the higher cap, that reimbursement on a monthly basis. And second is that, like if any basic training is required, then the government is also reimbursing 7,500 rupees on the top to reimburse to the basic training provider. So
the Film Association of Nagaland on Wednesday received its official affiliation with Federation of Film Societies of India in a program held at Regional Center of Excellence for Music and Performing Arts in Jotsoma, in presence of Vice President of Federations of Film Societies, Asia Pacific and Secretary of International Federation of Film, Pramendra Majumdar. Speaking on the occasion as the guest of honor, Majumdar, who is also a film society activist for the last 45 years, urged the fan members to work and promote films in the state along with the negotiations with the state government, and to involve the colleges and university, and to also maintain a library, which is very important for film critics. It is to be mentioned that FAN was formally registered as an association society in November 2018 and has 56 members presently from different media-related fields. It may also be mentioned that FAN was formed with the intention of ensuring overall improvement in the standard of filmmaking to enhance the scenario of film and media in the state. Notably, to enhance the technical and professional production skills, FAN has been holding screening of films, seminars, workshops of all kinds and other forms of interaction, and has also conducted online film competitions recently where budding young talents were featured and given a platform.
You must have heard. Thank you, friends, for inviting me today. Basically, I am a film society activist for the last 45 years. You know, the film society movement is a phenomenon throughout the world and India as well. The movement started in 1947 when Satyajit Ray, you must have heard his name, the master filmmaker, one of the master filmmakers of the world, is from Kolkata. Film was a taboo for the gentlemen around. They used to watch films for entertainment purpose, but if anybody is doing something with the cinema, those are the bad boys. Forget about the girls. Even they were not allowed to hold their meeting in some places. When the people came to know that we are doing something with cinema, they told, no, you cannot do it here. The gentlemen live here, we have nothing to do with cinema. Cinema was a very bad thing for a long time. So it was very, very difficult for them. His intention was to understand cinema, to propagate film culture, to take cinema as a serious text of art.
The Nagaland Police re-cautioned the public against various cyber frauds and crimes. The police, through a release, elaborated on the modus operandi prevalent among fraudsters in the state and advised the general public to remain vigilant and not be duped by such scams. The police said that the fraudsters have been committing theft of identity and photos of victims, often well-known persons, which is openly available on the internet and social media platforms like Facebook, WhatsApp and Instagram, and many more, asking the victims' friends and colleagues for help. Another method of operation, according to the police, is extortion or blackmailing of victims by contact or communication through social media. Further, police also informed about Bitcoin scams where potential victims are lured to invest or buy Bitcoins, drawing attention to such widespread operations. The police emphasized that the fraudsters are professionals who take extra effort to appear genuine. Nagaland Police appealed to general public not to transfer money without completely verifying the authenticity of the account and not to accept requests from strangers without verification. A proposal has been made for the bifurcation of Asukomi village into two villages councils, that is Asukomi Old Village Council and Asukomi New Village Council under Zunheboto Sadar, wherein the boundaries will include North Puenyo Village, East Lochomi Village, South Lizu Naguto Village and West Vekuho Old Village. Notably, the Deputy Commissioner of Zunheboto, through a notification, informed that if the public has to lodge any claims or objections, can do it within the 30 days, failing which the bifurcation of Asukomi village will be initiated. The Nagaland Electrical Contractors Union is scheduled to hold its general meeting come election of office bearers on June 25 from 11 a.m. onwards at Hotel Jafu in Kohima. Notably, the union urged all the electrical contractors to bring their valid identity cards and electrical contractors license on that day. Meanwhile, a press release issued by NECU General Secretary H.S. Rotoka stated that those without ID and license will not be allowed to cast their votes. ICCR Guwahati Horizon Series in association with TAFMA organized and celebrated World Music Day in Dimapur. Notably, the event was held at Room 3, Kuda B, by bringing musicians and singers from across the northeastern states. Different artists like Imphal Talkies from Manipur, Nltv from Nagaland, Daniel Ingti from Assam, Langfang Shyamle from Meghalaya and many other local singers performed in the event. Furthermore, Project Director TAFMA Government of Nagaland Dr. Hovithal Sotu attended the event and encouraged music and musicians and also urged everyone to support music. She also advised all citizens to uplift musicians. Notably, the World Music Day was celebrated across Nagaland. Apart from Dimapur, Kohima, Mokokchung and Chumukudima also observed the auspicious day.
To all of you.
Rock capital of India. Welcome. Well, not just there, but here.
TAFMA approach approached ICCR and
This evening. Thank you so much, sir.
Happy World Music Day!
Ladies and gentlemen,
high voltage political drama intensified in Maharashtra as Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray offered to step down from his post on the wake of rebel Shiv Sena MLAs arriving in Guwahati in act of dissidence against the Shiv Sena Supremo. In his address via Facebook to rebel MLAs who are stationed currently in Guwahati, the Maharashtra CM said that if the MLAs say, then he is ready to leave the CM post. It's not about numbers but how many are against Thackeray. He said that he is willing to give up the position if even one person or MLA is against him. In his 17-minute long address, Uddhav says he is going back to his residence Matoshri, leaving Varsha, which the Chief Minister's official residence. Meanwhile, rebel Shiv Sena leader and State Cabinet Minister Eknath Shinde is likely to address media in a while to decide the future course of action. Earlier in the day, Shinde claimed that he has the support of 46 MLAs, including 6 to 7 independent MLAs. Shinde said that the rebel MLAs are not in talks with the Shiv Sena or CM Uddhav Thackeray. 40 MLAs led by Shinde arrived at luxury hotel in Guwahati in BJP-ruled Assam this morning. Details we have our senior producer Dibyendu Chakraborty. Hello.
Yes, Yashira, as we have just informed our esteemed viewers that it almost, you can say, an hour ago, Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray, after facing a lot of heat from his own party MLAs for the last 2 days, as we all know that since Tuesday, the 40 MLAs have gone incommunicado, led by Maharashtra Cabinet Minister Eknath Shinde along with his 40 MLAs. First, they went to Surat. They were completely out of contact with the Maharashtra government and the Shiv Sena leaders. Then, in the morning hours of Wednesday, they came to Guwahati, and while addressing the media, Eknath Shinde specifically said that he has 46 MLAs with him, including 6 to 7 independents MLA, and they have supported him. That clearly cites that they are in mood to rebel, or in an act of dissidence they have come to Guwahati, and that was the message that was sent by Eknath Shinde and his group to Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray. After that, immediately Shiv Sena calls a meeting of the MLAs, and they were scheduled to take a meeting at 5 o'clock. That went ahead with the time. Meanwhile, Uddhav Thackeray got diagnosed with COVID positive, so he virtually, via video conference, he attended the meeting. Prior to the cabinet meeting, meanwhile, he also tried to contact Eknath Shinde. He made a call to Eknath Shinde. He tried to pacify the things, but the things didn't work out. So, a while ago, when Maharashtra CM, the son of Maharashtra's Hindutva face, Balasaheb Thackeray, Uddhav Thackeray came in front of media in his Facebook page, and there he finally offered his resignation, that he's willing to step down. But however, he didn't say that he is about to resign, or he's, what we can say, graceful exit. But he said that if the MLAs are not happy with him, they should have informed him. They should have talked to the party leaders without going to Surat or to Guwahati. They could have informed him. They could have approached him and to sort out the issue. However, if they are still willing to deliberate with him, then they can, the things are there, that there's a scope that the thing. But if they doesn't want him as a leader of his party or as a chief minister, then he is willing to resign. That is what he said during his address. But he has not said that he is going to resign anytime soon. He only offered his resignation that if the MLS say he will resign from his post. So interestingly, now in Guwahati, Eknath Shinde is likely to address a press conference for his own version, that what will be his future course of action, what steps he'll take down once Uddhav has finished with his press conference. So now it is to be seen what is the response comes from Eknath Shinde's side, But as far as political experts are saying that things are not going well between the Shiv Sena, while their alliance, Congress and NCP, they have said that it is up to the Shiv Sena to decide their chief minister, as according to the alliance or their conditions, the chief minister should be someone from the Shiv Sena. That's what, so in a way they have sidelined from the issue. Both Kamal Nath, who is the AICC in charge for Maharashtra right now to oversee the things, and including NCP Supremo and veteran leader Sharad Pawar, they maintain the silence. But just now we have got breaking news that NCP Supremo Sharad Pawar, along with his daughter Supriya Sule, who is also an NCP leader, they have they're visiting Uddhav Thackeray, and they are already meeting Uddhav Thackeray. And whatever inputs that we are getting, that Pawar has indeed suggested that let Eknath Shinde be the chief minister. These are the reports that we are getting from Mumbai. We are not sure about the developments. It's inside reports that are coming to us that Eknath Shinde could be offered the chief minister post if Uddhav steps down gracefully, and that in that way the situation gets solved. Otherwise, there might be some other possibilities. There might be some cabinet reshuffle where the main dissident MLAs, who are currently stationed in Guwahati, might be given some key portfolios according to their wishes. So this permutation and competition that will take place within a while. But first, everybody will now are waiting for what Eknath Shinde has to say about his stance on the developments, and he's going to address the media very soon. So that will be interesting to see. Meanwhile, Uddhav Thackeray, being the chief minister, has played his pro-Hindutva card. He has made an emotional appeal that even a single MLA, if he's not happy with him, then he's willing to resign. However, it is to be seen now that in that response, what Eknath Shinde and his team has to say. So the things in Maharashtra as of now are getting very interesting. Every moment, every hour, the political scenario, the equations are getting changed. So we'll be keeping more updates, and we'll definitely give our viewers all the latest from what is happening in Maharashtra as well as in Guwahati. So that is all the interesting developments right now we have to share with our viewers. Yashira.
Thank you so much for the details. Now let's see what happens next, if he steps down from the position or not. Moving on to the next story, we have Maharashtra Governor Bhagat Singh Koshyari on Wednesday tested positive for COVID-19. Notably, he has been admitted to HN Reliance Foundation Hospital in Mumbai for the treatment purposes. Meanwhile, a statement from the Raj Bhavan was issued which stated that anybody who wanted to contact the governor should do so via video conference. It may be mentioned that following the Maharashtra political crisis, rebel Shiv Sena Minister Eknath Shinde was expected to meet Governor Bhagat Singh Koshyari, claiming of having the support of 40 legislators. The lone road connecting Noku and Patzo range to Nockong district headquarters has been swept away in landslide on Tuesday night owing to incessant rains. The road, which is a lifeline of several villages, was completely damaged due to landslide below Dandalpong sectors. Villagers informed that they put in their best efforts to keep the road running. However, the road condition has gone from bad to worse and is currently beyond repair. The villagers further stated that the road has become inaccessible or for vehicles. They have appealed to Nockong district administration to look into the matter and address the issue at the earliest for convenience of public. Congress MLAs from various states will mark protest in the national capital over the Enforcement Directorate's probe against Rahul Gandhi in a money laundering case linked to National Herald newspaper and the centre's newly launched Agnipath recruitment scheme. The MLAs will be joining the Satyagraha at the 24 Akbar Road office in Delhi. Earlier, Congress leaders held a satyagraha at Jantar Mantar in the national capital on Monday to mark their protest over both these issues. It may be mentioned that the protest included top Congress leaders such as Mallikarna Arjun Kharge, Salman Khurshid, K. Suresh, V. Narayanaswamy, K.C. Venugopal. Draupadi Murmu was declared BJP-led NDA's presidential candidate on Tuesday. Murmu, former Jharkhand governor and former Odisha minister, is likely to file for her nomination on June 25. Murmu remarked that she was surprised to learn about her candidature and was unable to believe it. She further added that if elected, she will work according to the power of the president enriched and the constitution. Meanwhile, it may be noted that Murmu will be the first tribal president of India and the country's second female president if elected. In addition, Draupadi Murmu is the first presidential candidate from Odisha of a major political party or alliance. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to attend the 14th BRICS summit hosted by China in a virtual mode on 23 and 24 June. Notably, at the invitation of President Xi Jinping, Modi will be attending the summit, which will include a high-level dialogue on global development with guest countries on June 24. Notably, the discussions during the 14th BRICS summit are expected to cover intra-BRICS cooperation in areas such as counter-terrorism, trade, health, traditional medicine, environment, S&T and innovation, agriculture, technical and vocational education and training, and MSMEs. It is to be mentioned that the summit will be held in virtual format under the theme of Foster High-Quality BRICS Partnership, usher in a new era for global development. It may also be mentioned that BRICS is a multilateral forum consisting of 5 major emerging economies of the world, namely Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. At least 1,000 people were killed and nearly 1,500 several others have been severely injured after an earthquake measuring 6.1 on the Richter scale struck eastern Afghanistan early on Wednesday. According to sources, the majority of the casualties were confirmed in the provinces of Paktika and Khost. Reportedly, around 90 houses were destroyed and dozens of people believed to be trapped under the debris. It can be seen that footages from Paktika province near the Pakistan border showed victims being carried into helicopters to be airlifted from the area. Meanwhile, images widely circulating online from the province showed destroyed stone houses with residents picking through clay bricks and other rubble. It is to be mentioned that the strong jolt was also felt by people across Afghanistan, Pakistan and India. That is all for now. Keep watching Nagaland TV for more news and updates.
New YY Dynamite